Hello, wonderful friends. Welcome to the Love Your Life show. Today, I am interviewing a lovely lady by the name of Katie Bruder, and it's going to be a really exciting show because we're going to be speaking about becoming more aware of your energy and creating the life that you desire. How cool is that? Oh, we've already been speaking about tuning forks and all sorts of fun things before the show. So if you were on a few minutes earlier, you would have seen us chatting a little bit there. But I'm just going to give you a bit of a lowdown on Katie. She's a life transform coach who helps to empower people looking for passion and connectivity. Katie will help those who are ready to live a joyous, balanced, and more loving life while making it feel like play. Yes, with joy, ease, and clarity, she'll help release the old mindsets that can feel really, really heavy, and we're going to play with that today as well, unfulfilling or unbalanced. Katie guides you through intuitive insight, guided meditation, and playful exercises that will give you a fresh and energized outlook in life. So it's a pretty cool show that we're looking at today. I'm really excited, and I'm going to go over to Katie without further ado. Katie, are you there with us?
I am. Thank you for having me.
Yay! So great to have you. So, Katie, tell us a little bit about your journey and how you started to become a life transform coach, how you started doing what you do, and what has been your journey so far.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think it started as far back as I can remember, really. I was born deaf. And so knowing that my words weren't being expressed the way I wanted to, I knew that I could telecommunicate with my mother. However, she couldn't receive. So as a very young child, I knew that I had these abilities that other people had as well, but were not aware of. Mm-hmm. I had my invisible friend, which I think a lot of children have. Mm-hmm. And we could communicate easily, and she was as real as anybody else that was in the physical. So it kind of started out there, and it kind of went away for a while. And when I was told my best friend, Inka, my invisible friend, had to stay at home and couldn't go to school with me. So she went away, but slowly, job after job that just weren't fulfilling, I kept asking myself, what can I do? What can I do that would serve everyone's highest good? Mm. What would not only fulfill me, but fulfill other people? And how could I bring more joy and more fun into my work so it would be better received? And this life coaching program just kind of popped into my lap. I actually thought I was registering to win a trip. Oh. And I was getting interviewed. I was like, oh, this isn't to win. They're like, no, this is to sign up for a life coaching. And I thought that was so funny because my mind would have talked me out of it. Said, no way, you can't afford this. You can't leave. You can't do this. But it somehow, I was duped into doing it, and I'm so grateful that I did it and have gone through this process, and it's been really fun.
Wow, that's awesome. That's amazing. Yeah. That's actually quite interesting that you're like, yeah, no, I thought I'm winning the prize and I want to win this competition, and now you're interviewing me like, what?
I didn't win a prize. I'm not even, there wasn't even a prize. It's a real prize, but
that's cool. Well, that's a very different path than I think what, sometimes I think being a coach, you think, I want to be a coach, I want to do this, and you kind of stumbled into it, which is great that it wasn't part of the mind, right?
No, it totally bypassed my mind because my mind wouldn't have allowed it. I used to be an airline pilot, and everything had to be black and white, and there was a definite right and there was a definite wrong, and everything had to follow steps or people could be killed here, damn it, and it was just very regimented, and this is when we get up, this is when we go to work, this is, everything was on the clock and so structured. Mm-hmm. And so my mind still had that, but my soul didn't. And, so much of me was done with that, and I knew I was done with that, and I knew that life was unfulfilling. And I wanted something else. And I kept saying, what is it? What is it? What is it? And I was asking that daily. And I absolutely stumbled into this or fell into it. And here I am.
Wow. That is just such an interesting story. That's really different. So, wow. Well done to you. Yes. And well done for changing people's lives now. I mean, how does it, well, you're not changing their lives. They're changing their lives. You're just showing them, some ideas of how they can do that. Right.
Yes, show them more of them.
Yeah, I love it. And our theme for today is obviously becoming more aware of your energy and creating the life that you desire. So tell us a little bit about becoming more aware of your energy and obviously creating that life. How does that interlink?
Yeah. Well, so a few weeks ago, my daughter and I were traveling on a flight to go see my mother. And that whole day I was in a great mood. My daughter and I were both in fabulous moods, and my mood shifted from fantastic to lousy really quickly. And it was, as simple as, it was about departure time, and my daughter and I were settled into our seats. We had our snacks and our water and our little iPads out and all of our luggage stowed, and the last minute guy gets on, takes the last seat, which happened to be next to a new mom who didn't want to breastfeed her baby next to a guy. So she asked to be seated somewhere else. So she sat across from my daughter and I, and it was one of those small airplanes, 2x2. And the flight attendant had to reseat them because there were not enough oxygen masks in the 2 seats next to us. There was 3 on the right side of the airplane and only 2 on the left side. So she asked if my daughter and I would change seats with her. And I went from happy to, really? I gotta change, and I didn't realize that my mood had shifted, and it was so sneaky and so fast. And once I moved the whole 8 inches over the aisle and, got the iPads right back out and stowed our bags, I realized that, wow, I went from this great mood to a lousy mood in a matter of just seconds. And it was so sneaky. And how did this happen? And I started following that. And, what I realized is everybody around me was like a new mother and their kid, and you're delaying the flight, and this is going to be terrible. And the new mother was saying this is a disaster and how horrible it is. And my energy just went right in and followed into that. So I started participating in this lousy energy, in this bad mood. And then I realized, this is how you get to a bad day. And then you continue, then you help somebody else go into a bad day, and then it can turn into a bad week and a bad month and a bad life. And, so I was like, well, how do I keep myself from doing this? How can I become more aware of how this happened and to stay in this higher, elevated, happy place, and maybe help other people to rise up to this happy, elevated, joyous, which I think is our true sense of being. And so I called it self-meditating. I self-meditated for the rest of the flight and kind of followed into, how did I get here? How can I be more aware of these energies and when they creep in so quickly? And how am I participating, and how can I be more responsible for my energy? So, yeah, so I kind of went into a self-meditation on that flight, and what I discovered is where it feels in my body, where do I feel this? And I think everybody is maybe a little bit different. For me, it's around my chest or my heart. I can feel it squeeze, or a little tension and a resistance, but yet I went with it because it's just out of familiarity. It's a lousy feeling, but I'm familiar with it, so I'm going with it,
And I think a lot of us get that you don't even realize you're getting sucked into other people's stuff, and then you start feeling like, why am I feeling like this? Like, is this really mine? And it doesn't really belong to you. It's everyone else's, or it's everyone else's that they believe is theirs, right?
Yeah, and then once you're stuck in that familiar feeling, like for me, is this frustration of time. We're not going to get there on time, and then there's this lack and scarcity, and then my mental programs start coming up with, your monkey mind gets into it and goes, remember this time when, and what about this time? And so your mind gets carried away, and then it becomes dense, and then it becomes cellular memory, and it gets stuck in your body. So I mean, this wasn't even my energy, but when it is, when you truly have a right to be angry, say, and instead of just feeling this anger and going, "Ooh, wow, that is anger," feel that energy, man, it is strong. I could probably move a mountain with this anger. I am so angry. But instead, most of us tend to put thoughts. Why am I angry? And who has done me wrong? And you keep tracking back to all the people who have done you wrong and all this, story, and it's in your body. And I don't think that that's the way it's meant to go. I think we're simply meant to feel this. And say, how are you here to serve me? Ask some questions about it. What are you here for? Everything is here for something.
And I think I think that's part of the program that we have as beings on this planet. We get programmed to go, when you feel anger, suppress it or explode in it and find who you can blame or what you can blame as to why you're feeling it. Yeah. Rather than recognizing, oh, what is this? And asking what it's there, how it's there to serve you. We don't think it's there to serve us. We immediately go into it's there as it's a bad thing. We must try and avoid and resist it.
Yeah, or it's not ladylike to show your anger.
Oh yeah.
Or for guys, if you show your anger, then you're showing your weakness. No. So there's all these stories around your emotions. Mm-hmm. You know, oh, it's okay to laugh, but not too loudly. And don't away in public. You know, there's all these stories behind these emotions. So it's such a conflicting and confusing place. Yeah. And you know, I don't know. You know, when is it okay to laugh? Is it okay now? Yeah. Should I cover my mouth when I laugh? What? Yeah. So yeah, all energies, and not only how are this energy? How is it here to serve you? But how are you here to serve it? Because the anger is a heck of a motivator.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And you know, I had an experience the other day where we had a meeting, and it was very interesting because our meeting was supposed to start at 4:00. The person we were actually having the interview with only got there at 4:30. And then some other people came across that my fiance and I knew, and we obviously were talking to them, and the one person had some important information because he's actually got cancer, and he just wanted to, you know, they've started this healing place, and so we were talking a little bit about that, but the meeting wasn't really for us. We were kind of just facilitating it. So the people that were at the meeting, the one was running late, the other person, which was a gentleman, he was sitting there as well, and I think he was getting a bit agitated because of his time. So I'm talking to this person who's telling me about their cancer situation, and I'm feeling like, you know, I can't just break this. Oh, sorry, sorry for your life, you know. you can't. I'm like almost in shock with what this person has just told me, because I would never have expected it. They don't act like it at all, and then, you know, we had to kind of cut this conversation kind of short because I could feel this person's energy that was getting agitated because his time, he felt, wasn't being honored, if that makes sense. But then I took it upon myself as if it's my fault. And it was very interesting because I immediately caught myself and I went, oh, this is not mine. It's okay for him to feel agitated. I don't have to feel like I have to solve his agitation or save him from his agitation or take it on as if I'm responsible for it, because these things just happened, you know? And I think we often do that, don't we?
Yeah. You know, what I found too, a lot of times with my spouse, if he's angry, I would fall into that, and I would show my support for him by joining in that emotion. Yes. And so if he gets angry, then I get angry too, and that way I'm supporting him. But what happens is we're just colliding, and we have no grounds to meet. Yes. There's no, you know, how do we work our way out of this? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah. And how are you playing a role every time somebody's in this? And you know, and people need their suffering. Mm-hmm. You know, it's there for a reason. People need that. And so whenever he's angry, it's like, hey, it's okay. Allow him to have that. Yes. That's it. Yeah, allow him to have that. And if it's sorrow, sadness, instead of trying to cheer that person up, no way, let them have that. Yeah. That's there. Yeah. That's their gift.
I love that. And you know, that it's so true, because that's something that's been happening with my fiance and myself, is like he has, like, sometimes if he gets a little bit angry or agitated, it's kind of like this, it's, you know, like it's like, I don't know what the word is. It's not angry, like explosive. It's like undercover. It's like this simmering kind of feeling. And and I'm the opposite, where I'll just say it because I'm, like you said, the loud, like experience like that. And what I recognized is, in the beginning, I used to get into, oh, he's angry, I've got to try and fix it. And now when he gets in that space, I'm like, oh, I just actually call him on it. I say, are you feeling a bit angry right now? You know, and then he'll recognize it, because sometimes you don't see it in yourself. And he'll also give it to me. He'll also say to me, "Oh, so you being angry right now," or "Oh," and he'll laugh at me and he'll say, "Oh, you're so cute when you like this," or whatever. and then it helps you to actually just go, "Oh, what am I doing here?" You just need someone to make, otherwise you get caught in the loop.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's sneaky. It's really sneaky. It is. Before you know it, you're stuck in somebody else's story. It's like they want you to show up and play this role out for them so that they can release it, is what I think.
Yes.
So show up and join me in my anger. Meet me here.
Yes.
Because it's too much for me and I don't know what to do with it.
That's
and you can't do anything with my anger.
Mm-hmm.
You can certainly find your own anger. You know what that feels like, and we can both sit there and be angry. And, but what are we accomplishing, really? Yeah.
I love that. It's like, I'm angry. Yeah, me too. Let's just sit in our anger. This is fun. Yeah. Not really. Let's just play. No.
Yeah. What are some of your buttons?
So you showed me something a little bit earlier on that you pulled out there that was quite interesting.
Yes.
Can you show us what that is?
My tuning fork.
Oh!
Yeah, so sometimes when the energy in my house gets a little stinky, and either my daughter's frustrated because her Legos aren't going the way she wants them to, or whatever's happening, I'll use this tuning fork, and it's amazing what's happening in the other room just settles down. And so, maybe if whoever's on the call, or now or future, think of something angry, sad, whatever feeling that has been on your plate lately, today, yesterday, whenever. If you can really get into that feeling, but try and just get into the feeling without the story. Let's leave the stories behind, because that gets us into trouble. And for me, I'm going with, I can go with anger. Yeah, that's an easy one for me. I can find that. So really kind of get that feeling of, ooh, and it's the feeling that we're going for, remember, not the story. That feeling of, that really is frustrating, that's really angering me. And just notice where you're feeling that in your body. Where does that energy travel to?
Mine's in my stomach. I can feel it like.
Yeah, I feel it in my stomach, and my fists clench up, and my jaw usually gets tight. And it's funny because it sort of moves through my body, and I can just really, and it's tension. And so feel that. And then I don't know if the sound is going to be anything like what it is in person, but go ahead and hold that in your body and feel that and see if this does anything for you.
Wow. Whew, that just completely went away. That is incredible. That is, it like actually shocked. It like felt like, guys, what did you feel? What did you feel on the call? Did you feel that? That was incredible.
So something that's going on in the other room, or a room that feels like, oh, something's heavy in here, I can clear it out with this. And it's so cool what sound can do for us. And it's almost like giving your brain something else to do. It's like, oh, that sound just pulled me out of this
completely.
And now I can bring in something else and release it.
That is honestly like so friggin' cool. That's incredible how quickly that like you just said, it literally, and I was feeling that anger. Hey, I was like fully like, I'm gonna have this anger right now. And when you did that, and I could hear it, it was almost like it's like a vibration that came through. It just went, it literally released. That was incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that is a fun thing to play with.
And it just shows you, there was something that it just shows you how powerful vibration is. Yes, Pamela's saying yes, the power of sound is so amazing, thank you. And she's also saying thank you for your authenticity, Katie. That's from Pamela. And Pam's saying hi, Katie and Beverley. And Rosanna's also saying hi, Katie and Bev. So it's just so, it's like, it allows us to actually have a clear awareness of how powerful and how vibration really impacts us. When people talk about, oh, it's your vibration, it's your vibration is not in the right place or whatever, it's, you can't really put that into, like, you can't draw a picture on in a box about, you know, you can't like logicalize it, but you can, you exactly
Yeah.
you can feel it with the vibration, right?
Right. Yeah.
And Pam is saying she totally felt that through her whole body, and I felt it through my whole body, literally.
Yeah, it's cool. So I've been trying to work with that. So instead of going into the story of who's made me mad and why they made me mad, and because it's so easy to be triggered. I mean, just the other day too, I was in the grocery store and a lady bumped into me with her cart, and I'm assuming an apology or an excuse me was coming, and it didn't come. And so I watched myself, and I could hear myself, oh, how are you going to react? Like, oh, goody, you know, let's watch this. And I went, I'm going to let it go. Because I could have gone into story of all the times, and I could have held that in my body and let it compound and compound and compound and turned into disease and all kinds of ailments. But instead I was like, wow, that's not about me. That's her anger and her frustration.
Ooh.
And I could participate in that and join her there, or I could just take a deep breath and go, wow, that lady's really pissed off at the world. Yes. Amazing. I don't have to join her. And I realized like that. So I'm becoming more and more aware of how I respond to little subtle energies or very abrupt, rude behaviors. And just, you know, it's like the universe is saying, well, how are you going to respond to this one? Okay. Exactly. All right. How about this test? You know, and it's like I'm constantly being tested now that I've made the statement of I'm going to be more aware of my energies, and I'm going to take responsibility for my energies and what I'm putting out there.
That is really amazing. And Rosanna's saying it sounded like a foghorn and it alerted me. Too cool. It is cool tool, she said. Cool tool. Yeah. It is very cool. Cool tool. Yay! And something as you were speaking about that, where you said when she bumped you and it was her anger that then jumped onto you, it almost reminds me of a movie that I watched. It was actually a horror movie. Called, I know that there was a song when they sang a song with something about time is on my side. It was like about this spiritual entity or whatever that hopped from person to person and got them to do really crazy things, you know. And it almost feels like that's kind of the energy of some of these emotions. It's like it hops because we all have aspects of that within us. So when someone doesn't want to deal with it, it can hop onto the next person. So the energy of it will deliberately do something to cause a spark reaction in you within that emotional content, and then you can jump onto it and go, woo, let's get into this little vortex spinning wheel.
Well, how conscious are you? You know, and if you're completely unconscious and unaware, you're going to jump right on too. And I mean, there could be a full-on fist fight in the aisle of the grocery store for that, you know, just depending on how much anger we're both bringing to this party.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, where are you?
Wow. And I also know Eckhart Tolle talks about the pain body, and that, you know, the different pain, the pain body in each person is then going, you know.
Yes. Which is not at all your authentic self.
Yes.
You know, it's just an energy. It's like coming to earth and saying, I'm only eating vanilla ice cream. That's all I wish to experience. But we all want to experience everything. That's why we came here, is to experience everything and to play in this. But you don't attach the story. And then without the story, it can't get trapped in your body.
And I know times when I felt like incredible sadness or grief or even anger. And sometimes it actually has felt like, even rage has felt so good. It feels so good to feel that emotion, and like you said, not attach a story to it, because then it doesn't catch you up.
Right. Yeah, or sadness, you know, when somebody passes that you dearly loved, and you just feel that sadness, that loss, that raw wound, and you just sob and you let it go. You're not attaching any story to that.
Mm.
You know, yes, this person is no longer in the physical. They're here in some way. They're in the next room. You can't see them, but they're, you know, they're still here. But, you know, it's a feeling that you just release, and you allow yourself that space and that time to let this energy move through you. And it's funny how certain energies we can do that with. Certain emotions will allow pass through us, like a good laugh. When do you try and trap a good laugh in? For some reason, that's okay to move through us, humor, but why don't we trap that in us? You know, wouldn't that be fun? If we were trapping, you know, humor or something funny or whatever in us, some kind of joy in us. But, you know, the stories that come with the anger and the, you know, all the, what we deem negative, which I don't think we should even do that. Why judge them?
I had even the judgment, which is quite interesting as well, since you're talking about this. And I'm really enjoying this call, because we're looking at these quote unquote negative emotions that everyone needs to resist, and we're going, dive into it, baby, like feel it. And we had a friend over a couple of nights ago, and we were speaking about some of these things, and she said, you know, whenever I've had a big breakup with a man, after the breakup, she vomits, she purges, she actually has a physical vomit, and then she's over it.
How nice. How much a story of, you know, somebody done somebody wrong song. You know, you don't have to go into that. Yeah, you can just, yeah.
You know? I was like, and she says, is that normal? Is that okay? She's like, because I know that when every relationship I have, I just vomit, and then I'm over it. It's like within one night. Is that normal?
Normal that. You know, look at where we'd be. Oh my gosh. Those nights of eating a carton of ice cream in bed are over. You just have to do it.
I love that. So earlier on, you were mentioning a meditation that you did on the airplane, which helped you to kind of get your energy back together. Would you be able to share that with us?
Sure, yes. Okay, so let's all of us get seated and get in a comfortable position. Go ahead and feel your feet grounding into the center of the earth. And feel the love that's there for you. Feel the gratitude and the love that the earth has for you. And then breathe that up through the soles of your feet, up your legs, through your torso, into your heart. And then exhale it out of the top of your head, your crown chakra. And we'll do that 3 times. So go ahead and feel that love and that gratitude. Really gather that up that the earth has for you. And breathe that up through the bottoms of your feet, through your legs, into your heart, and out through your crown chakra. And one more time, really gathering the love and gratitude that the earth has for you. Breathing it up through your legs, your torso, and out through the crown of your head. Now bring your awareness up to the sky, all the planets and the stars, and feel all of the love and the gratitude that this universe has for you. And bring your awareness out into that. And breathe that in through the crown of your head, through your heart, your torso, down your legs, and out through the bottoms of your feet. And again, really feel the love and the gratitude, all the stars and planets and what the universe has for you. And breathe that in through the top of your head, into your heart, down your legs, out the bottoms of your feet. And again, really feel the love and the gratitude all the stars and the planets have for you. And breathe that in through the crown of your head, into your heart, down your torso, your legs, and out the bottoms of your feet. I want you to feel your heart space. I want you to think of something that you love dearly. It can be a person, it can be a pet, it can be a place, it can be an object. Really gather this feeling of love. And feel your heart kind of expand and open up into this love. Now visualize your physical heart. I want you to stand behind your heart, in your mind's eye, stand behind your heart, and envision a small doorway in the back of your heart. And go ahead and walk into your heart. Now envision this room in your heart. It's a large room. You're surrounded by love. You have Mother Earth love, the sky, the universe, Father love, and you, the Holy Child love. You've got all this love. You're completely safe. Just feel this vibration of love. I want you to envision this slide within your heart. It can be a straight slide, it can be a very short one, it can be a long one, it can be curvy, it can have loop-de-loos in it, whatever feels perfect for you. Go ahead and get onto this slide and ride this slide down. You can yee-haw and woo-hoo all the way. You are safe here. Nothing bad can happen. When your slide ends, you'll notice that there's a large window within your heart. It's looking out over the entire universe. You can see all the stars, Milky Way, planets. Now envision there's a guide or an angel there. They want to show you something. Either want to take you and show you something, or they want to bring something to you and give you a gift. Whatever you receive is perfect for you. So if you go out traveling, I want you to remember this love vibration. That is always your way back home. I'll give you a few minutes to receive this gift. Okay, so bring your awareness back into this now moment. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take a deep breath. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So that is how I grounded myself and I reconnected with my true essence, my true vibration. What is my knowing of who I truly am. And that is kind of how I bring it all back home. And that's where all of these other emotions and whatever else is happening out there kind of disappears and melts away.
Wow, that was really...
And so if I entered that with anger or anything, there's usually an incredible gift or an awareness within that moment. And that's still...
Wow, that was just really, really yummy. and my slide was a loop-de-loop slide. What did you...
Mine was...
Yeah, that's the best, right? So what did those on the call think? What did you think, ladies and gentlemen? What did you enjoy that? Was that fun for you too? Do you feel blissed out? Was your slide a loop-de-loop one too?
Guardrails.
Yes. What did you say? Gargoyles.
No guardrails. Some may want guardrails.
Oh, okay. Yes, with the things that you don't fall out of it, right?
Right. Little bumpers.
It was actually it was bringing back memories to me from when we were kids and we used to go down those water slides, you know, and you used to scream and like you just to have exhilaration and excitement going down those slides. Just reminded me of that, you know.
Yeah, and you know, when I was a small child, I used to have these dreams that I was going down this slide, and it was this slide from way, way out there, and I'd plunge underwater, and I'd always think, God, am I still safe? Am I still safe? And I'd just go deep into the center of the earth, and then I'd wake up into my body. It was wild. It was almost like my return from my travel time, but I had that reoccurring as a child. It was fun.
Wow, that's like snakes and ladders, except snakes and slides.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so cool. And Rosanna's saying, I wanted to go down the slide again. Yay!
Anytime, it's always there.
Yeah, I really like that way of coming back into your body. It's kind of a joyful way to slide back in. It's and bring what you've experienced with you, and also the way that you spoke about, you know, coming in the back of your heart. I haven't ever heard of that way of getting into your heart before. It's a different way. And
yeah,
it felt so easy.
Yeah, you know, and it's been taught that way for a long time. There's a small doorway behind your heart, and that is your way to enter. So that's just been my way for years now. That's the way I go in, and I kind of find my seat there, and that's the way I bring it all home. And who am I truly? What am I really here to do? And you know, where is my vibration? I start with that.
I love that. I really I'm gonna play with that myself. That's a beautiful, brilliant tool. I love it.
Yeah, and I mean, you can extend that out. You can shorten it, or you can lengthen that as long as you like.
And you know what I'm really loving about the show is that every single one of the divinely beautiful beings that I've interviewed so far has each got like different tools that we explore in every show, which is, and they're not difficult. It's not like this complicated psychological process where you have to try and figure out this, you know, those Rubik's Cube things that you have to try and figure out your brain so that you can be okay and you're safe. It's just very simple, creative processes or tools that just get you into states like instantly. And it's so beautiful.
Yeah, you know, and if it feels light, it's truth. If it feels heavy, it's probably a lie. You know, Rika's always saying that whatever feels light is your truth. So if it feels light, go with it.
Yes.
Here's your truth. Yeah, and if it feels heavy, what's the lie? What are we buying into? What's the story behind this?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's too.
Yes. Yeah. And like we were talking about the anger and the sadness and all of those things, when you feel that without the story, it doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel.
No, it's light. You know, you can still feel your body tense and your body's reacting, you know, but it's not trapped without the story. Yes. It's free to move when it's done. You're just experiencing it. It's almost like God would experience it. Yes. You know, you're allowing God to come in and just experience this anger. And God's probably giggling, going, ooh wee, this is awesome. Look at you, words you're using, woo! And you know, isn't this fun?
Yes.
And it, you know, it doesn't have to be this. And then she did this and that, and then there was this time when I was 5. You know, we don't have to go through all those stories. We can just feel this emotion.
And I can also recognize in myself when I've felt emotions and then I've gone into the story, because then you bring up what your dad did to you, what your mom did to you, what
this story, and before you know it, you've told your whole life story over anger. You know? Here's my anger life story.
I must admit, since I've been obviously playing with the coaches and also I've obviously been around with Rika since 2010. I must say that the tools are, these life transform tools are really phenomenal. Like they really, really work. I mean, I've been looking at self-development stuff since I was 14 years old. I'm 33 now. So like some of that stuff just almost feels like it's just boxes upon boxes upon boxes, and you're trying to fit into these boxes, and you're wondering, am I doing this right? And
yes,
with this is it's so easy because it's like it is energetic, it is vibrational, and it is about, like, something very interesting came today when I was listening to something online, and the message was, it's not about taking action, it's about being in alignment. So when a lot of times we think, I've got to take these certain actions in order to get this result, as opposed to saying, I'm taking this action because it's taking me more into alignment and focusing on alignment.
Yeah, and how much more fun does that feel?
Completely.
You know, how much lighter is that? Yeah.
It's like, you know?
Yeah. And then your whole energy wants to move into that direction, and then it opens, you know, and then where does it take you from there? And then you open. And I mean, yeah, because it's all of you. Just go with it. Flow with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this is the message from Katie. Go with it. Go with it.
Go with it. No songs.
Down the slide, go with it. Woohoo!
That's right.
So that was awesome. So anyone in the chat, has anyone got any questions or anything you'd like to ask Katie, or you'd like to share? Rosanna's saying she wants to go down the slide again. Would you like to do the meditation again, Rosanna?
We can do it anytime, Rosanna.
Yeah, and I think what's great about the show is that there's a replay that you can listen to again and again and again and again and again until you feel comfortable doing it without the replay. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And add on what you want to add on. Take out whatever feels best to you. Yeah, go with it.
I love it. I love it. And what I think another thing that we're recognizing is we all have our own intelligence that knows what is required for us. Yeah.
Yeah. This navigational system that's built in.
Yes.
And we're taught so much of us are taught that it's got to be hard. You know, you've got to be frustrated. You've got to work hard. You've got to go through all of these miserable feelings in order to get to what you want, when that's not true at all. What you want is right here before you all the time. It's always here. You are all of it. You know, you don't have to suffer. You don't have to be miserable.
And that's, you know, one of the things that's really interesting about the show too, because I'm obviously, this has been something that's kind of just come about in the last month and a half, is this is something that has been like in my heart for at least the last 7-8 years. And I kept on thinking it was going to be hard. So at this point, I just got to the point where I just went, I don't care if it's not perfect. People got to hear these messages. These coaches are amazing, and this needs to be heard. And I just, you know, when you just go for it.
Right. Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's all the stories that were stopping you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, you probably heard of other people who tried to do it and didn't succeed in their vision. Mm-hmm. You know, and they probably didn't succeed because they didn't keep going. You know, they stopped. They just, So you had all these stories playing instead of just following the energy of, well, let's make this play, and how can this succeed? You know, go into it with how could this succeed today?
I love that question.
Yeah. How can this work?
Yes. I love that. I love that. Okay, well, I think we've covered up most of the stuff we wanted to cover in this call. I'd just like to share with everyone who's on the call today. Katie does the Life Transformed coaching sessions, one-on-ones, and she's also running Life Transformed 4-day intensive in the fall, which I think is, well, in the fall, I'm going to say in the fall. And I'm like, when is the fall? Because in South Africa, we call it autumn. And then also our spring is your autumn, which is your fall, which I think is in the middle of September. Is that right, Katie?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So somewhere September, October, November. Yes.
Okay. All right. So for those of you who would like to join Katie or would like to find out more information about that, she has got a website, and you can also find her on Facebook. Her website is Transform with Katie, spelled KATIE.com. So it's transformwithkatie.com, or you can just hook her up on Facebook, and you'll find her through the Love Your Life Show Facebook page, because she's also on the Love Your Life Show Facebook page. And I'm sure she'd be happy if you just instant message her, say, how's it? I think I'd like to get in contact with you, Katie. That sounds good. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yes, please. Yes.
And we have some, Rosanna saying we're already divinely perfect. Yes, totally.
Yes,
Pamela Laluz is saying, I'm so grateful that you followed your passion, Bev. Thank you, Pamela. And then Rosanna saying, thank you, Katie. You're awesome. You are awesome, Katie. You are awesome.
Awesome. That's the awesome thing.
Yay. So, yeah. So it was a great pleasure to have you on the show today, Katie. And I love that we got to play a little bit with those emotions that oftentimes we're told are wrong and bad, and that we should avoid and resist, because they can actually be just as joyful as the joyful emotions. Yeah. They're all just labels, right?
Right. All judgments.
Yes.
Toss that judgment out and just feel it. Yeah.
Yes. I love it. And then when you start to feel it, you start to actually just feel everything seems to just, even the anger, even the sadness, all just seems to loop back to love and gratitude. Have you noticed that?
Yes. Yes. There's a gift in everything.
Yes.
Yes. And when you stay out of the story of, what, why, how, all the monkey mind stuff, you get the gift.
Yes. You know, one of my favorite sayings right now, not my circus, not my monkeys.
Yes. I had a friend who always would say that. It's not my circus, it's not my monkeys. That's a circle. That's right.
Because it makes it like so visual, like these little monkeys that are going,
yeah. Ding, ding, ding.
I love it. It's so much fun. All right. Well, I'm going to give you a chance to say goodbye to all of our lovely beings on the call here today.
Oh, goodbye. Thank you for showing up.
Yes.
It has been a pleasure.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Katie. And thank you for showing up for you. Yes. And it's been an honor to be with you today. And it's been an honor to be with you, Katie. And I really appreciate you being on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure. So thank you for that.
All right. Thank you.
And then, we're going to, if there's anyone else who wants to say anything before we close off, we're just about done with the show. And I want to say thank you to all of you for showing up for you today. And thank you for sharing this with your friends and sharing the love that you are and being on this path. And Pamela's saying thank you, Katie, as well. Pamela Laluz. So thank you, everyone, and have an amazingly wonderful day. Lots of love.